Hi guys, I am here with my amazing model, Miss Harleenie. It's Harleen, but with a Y. Say hi to your group. We're here today to give you our first hair class. I have been asked so many times to start teaching hair online, and as soon as I created these online courses for everyone, I knew that I was going to do both hair and makeup because that's what I do normally, both hair and makeup. If I did one all the time, I think I'd be pretty bored. So why not show my hair skills as well for you guys to get up there on that level too. So we're going to wait just a couple minutes to get everyone on. I know we started just a couple minutes early. Don't worry, I'm not going to start the actual demonstration right now. I want to make sure you're all on and ready to go. I just made a post online of us in the laptop. And so in that post, I want you to go on that post and I want you to ask your questions for this class, for the Q&A, the live Q&A at the end of the class. Go ahead and ask your questions and type them below so that later on I can sit down and answer your lovely questions. So we're just going to wait a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I guess I'm just going to give you some updates about what we're doing. So I know you guys have heard the buzz in the air about me doing the certification classes. I'm so excited for that because it has taken us a while to figure out the best way to allow my online students to get certified in the most ethical way. Because I don't want to not be able to know that you guys are understanding or not. So we're actually coming up with an entire course line. It's a very different course line of very solid, intense material for you all to learn if you want to be a certified makeup artist. So it's going to cover anywhere from 6 to 8 very long classes of different topics of makeup and different looks and whatnot. And we're going to have that rolling out pretty soon. So stay tuned for my announcements on that. And what else? Oh, I'm also doing a hair certification class. And that whole course line is going to also be several episodes put together. It's not going to be the same things that I'm teaching in the members, live classes. It's going to be very, very advanced. We're going to cover some basic stuff too in the certification course, but a lot of the looks are going to be updos and things like that. So it's going to be longer episodes, things that I'm not really able to do live online for these classes because it just takes a very, very long time and it would be like several hours long. So we're going to try to get that rolling out soon after. So hopefully within a couple months or so. And in addition to that, we also for the holidays have had a lot of requests for gift certificates and how to gift your friends a membership to Dress Your Face Live. So we now have that option available as well, where if you'd like to gift your friend or maybe gift yourself a year membership in case you're just a monthly or something, the way to order a gift certificate is to email info@dressyourfacelive.com and they will actually create a special account for you or for your friend, whoever you want to give it to, and they will also send your friend a holiday card signed by me. So that's really special. I'm so glad that we're doing that. So this is pretty much like the next couple of days is going to be the last couple of days to be able to send it before Christmas. Or if you want to send it as a New Year's gift, I know not everyone out there celebrates Christmas. It's all the holidays. So New Year's also, if you want to send your friend a New Year's gift or, give someone special something and something awesome. So that's available now. What else? Oh my God, my giveaway. So the team has chosen 2 winners for the last Tarte giveaway. I'm going to show you what the giveaway was in case I have some new members here that haven't seen what I was giving away. Let me pull that up now. It is a whole bunch of stuff from Tarte. They were so awesome to not only give 1 but 2 sets of this. So I'm just going to hold it up so you guys can see what it was. It's all these amazing goodies. So it came with eyeshadows, it came with, there's lipstick, blush, eyeliner, and eyeliner brush, there's a contour set, there's a neck cream, and a lip pencil lipstick stain thing. It's so awesome. So 2 lucky winners are winning this set. I'm going to tell you who the winners are right now so you don't have to wait till the end of class to find out. I know it's exciting. So drum roll, please. I have the screenshots right here sent directly from the team. And the winners are one lovely Lolita. This is you. If you are on live right now, you are a winner of an entire set of the Tarte Cosmetics collection that I've just shown you. Lolita Intiron. That is your name and your Instagram, One Lovely Lolita. I will also announce this on Instagram in case you're not here live. No big deal. I'll make sure you get your gift. You are the first winner. And the second winner is Makeup by Sona and Safa. Makeup by Sona and Safa. You are the second winner of the Tarte Cosmetics collection that I am giving out from the last episode. So congratulations, girls. So excited. Can't wait to send you your goodies. So I will contact you. I'm going to DM you in a few hours once the class is over and everything so that I can get your information. And I will, of course, announce on Instagram in case you're missing this. No big deal. I got your back. So congrats, girls. And now I am going to go ahead and get started on my lovely model, Harleen. And in addition, I'm going to tell you what the next giveaway is at the end of class. So stay tuned for that. So what we're going to do today is a beautiful Hollywood hair tutorial just in time for Christmas and New Year's and all your lovely family events. And she has a hair, how long? A little bit above her waistline. And she does have layers. So, and I usually recommend my clients, if they want like a nice curly bouncy do, that they should have layers in their hair so that it's not too heavy and it doesn't weigh down. You can see my hair, I have a ton of layers like everywhere. And so that's why my hair is able to be very bouncy and very fluffy and a lot of movement and texture. So we're going to give her the same look. We're also going to do my famous bang, where I'm going to give her that like S wave and it's just going to curve right over. Actually, we could do either way, either side. Her hair kind of works both ways. But if you're working on your client, the way to find out where their hair naturally parts is to bring it all back and then fluff it forward. And then wherever it wants to fall, that's usually where the natural part is. And then you would just kind of like, you know, even it out and make it all perfect. So that's kind of the cheap method of figuring out where your client's part naturally is. Otherwise, I usually ask, okay, where do you normally part your hair? Where do you prefer to part your hair? And if I feel like it's too flat, if she's parting one way and it's too flat, then I just flip it over to the other side. And if there's more volume, I'll just keep it on the other side. For today, because she can do either way, we're gonna part her hair over here. And I'm gonna show you that whole S-wave thing. I'm also gonna show you how it looks when all the hair is down or if all the hair is to the side. So we're going to have a couple variations of this look. So the products that I'm going to be using, first of all, there's not a lot of products. I'm not a product junkie. No. I don't use mousse. I don't like serums. I don't deal with like gels and pastes and pomades and stuff like that. Although I have everything like right behind me, I'm not a big user. I kind of just use that for like decor. And I have it, so like I'm not going to throw it away. But I use one product, sometimes two products. Like if like her hair is just fine to use right now, but like let's say you have a client that comes over and her hair is a little greasy on top, then I'll use like a dry shampoo, just a dry shampoo spray to absorb that. Or let's say someone's hair is way too clean and it's not like, it's very hard for me to tease because it's just too clean. It's not holding anything. It's too silky. So in that case, I'll use a Layla Milani hair powder. It's a small little powder. I just sprinkle it on the areas that are very difficult to tease and it makes it a little bit dirty. Like you can feel the grit and I'm able to tease and make it really big, or you don't even have to tease. You could just sprinkle it on and then shake it at the root of the hair. And then it just starts to build bigger and bigger. So that's one of the like rare products that I'll use once in a very blue moon. But normally when I'm doing hairstyles, I only use one thing, which is Tresemme Hairspray number 5. I have accidentally stumbled upon this product a few years ago when I was traveling to the middle of nowhere to do a bride. And because I was flying, I wasn't able to bring hairspray with me, and I never check in. When I'm flying for a client, I never risk checking in any products because I just want it near me at all times, and I'd rather not get my bags lost and then I've ruined someone's wedding. Like, I'm not going to have that happen to me. So I always take everything with me. So I didn't have hairspray. So I land and I'm like trying to get to a beauty supply store, and there was no like big beauty supply store that I usually get my expensive products from. So I had to walk into Walgreens or one of those drugstores. I forgot which one it was. And I was kind of desperate at the time, and so I bought the TRESemmé Strongest One. This is the number 5, it's the strongest hold. And oh my god, it worked so much better than any of the hairsprays I've ever used in my entire life, and I've used everything. I've spent up to $30, $35 for one little can of hairspray, and that was the worst. Like, sometimes it's not about the name, and sometimes it's not about the glamour of the bottle. It's really about, does it work for your clients and what you do? What I do is a variance of things. You know, I'm a glam girl. I do glam clients. I very rarely do the natural kind of like, you know, I woke up like this kind of a look. I really usually don't. I don't mind doing it, but it's just not me. So what I'm known for is, like for hair especially, is my Bollywood updos. Strong Bollywood bombshell for the clients that are Indian or Pakistani, or anyone who has to wear a very heavy headpiece over it, or the dupatta, which is the cloth that they wear over their head. It's so heavy. I mean, those things can weigh like tens of pounds. I mean, like 10, 20, 30, 40. Like, these things are very, very heavy. Very heavy. I don't even know how. Thank God I did not have to wear it. Like, for my wedding, I didn't have a Punjabi wedding. But all my brides, I mean, I feel for them. So our job is to get their hair big and strong so that they don't feel that weight on their body. And so, bam, I mean, it worked wonders. It's the number 5 hairspray basically is the strongest one that they have. And the cool thing is, it doesn't flake. That's what I like about it. It doesn't flake. So let's say I spray the crap out of her hair and then I want to brush it out and style it the next day. She literally doesn't even have to wash her hair. I can just brush it out and it'll style. But it's strong enough to actually hold literally all day, and it's humidity resistant. So, you know, I use this. I just had a bride in Mexico, in Tulum, close to Cancun, and it was very humid and very hot and nasty outside. And this is the hairspray I brought with me. I actually did have to check it in. And I brought this with me, and it worked wonders on her hair. I did updos on her. I did downdos on her. I did some of her family members with updos and downdos, and it works amazingly throughout the day. So I'm a huge believer of TRESemmé, and it's only like $3 or $4 or $5 at the most. I think it's usually like $3.99 or something. You can find it at Target or any drugstore. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm also going to use my favorite brush. This is the Layla Milani Miracle Hair Brush, and it's pretty awesome. It doesn't allow your tangles to get pulled. So it's actually very gentle to use, and she actually uses it on her little daughter in case she gets little tangles. This does not hurt her. It's such a smooth brush. So we're going to use this brush in case I have to, you know, kind of brush her whole hair. And then I just use a couple of little combs here. This is just my rat tail comb that I use for teasing. And then this is what I use to smooth after I'm teasing. This is just a boar hair bristle rat tail comb as well. And I got this at Sally's Beauty Supply, and this as well from Sally's Beauty Supply. It's super cheap. It's just plastic. No big deal. So that's what I'm going to use. And I have some clippies here just to keep her hair out of my way. And last but not least, my Bombay Hair curling wand. Now, I have a huge surprise for you guys that I'm going to talk about right after I'm done with her hair. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of you already know because I kind of already announced it, but it's been a while since I announced it, so maybe you guys kind of don't know, but we'll talk about that later. But I love the Bombay Hair line. They're my good friends in Canada, and their products are just bomb, and you're about to see why I feel that way. So this is the 5-in-1 hair curling wand, but I only really use about 3 attachments, the small, medium, and large, and this is the medium of the 3. So, okay. Let's get started. I'm going to move her over. Actually, before I move her over, I want you guys to get a good look at the way I've parted her hair. Normally, like let's say her normal part is here. I want a very dramatic kind of effect, so I am going to go a little bit more and part it over. And anytime I do hair, I always get rid of the bang section and I clip it away so that it's not going to be mixed in with the rest of the hair because I do the bangs separate. So this is whether I do an updo or a downdo, same thing. What I'm doing is I'm just sectioning away from the top of the part, the end of the part, all the way to right behind her ear. And I'm just going to twist it out of the way and clip it off. Okay, so that's out of my way. So I'm just going to move her this way, and I'm going to move her a little forward so that I can show you all the lovely tricks for this Hollywood look. So what I normally do is I just start at the nape of the neck, and I'm going to start curling from the bottom and working my way up. Okay. I'm going to take about, the nape of the neck usually has the least amount of hair, so it's okay to take like a good amount of hair for that, just so that each curl is a little thicker than normal. But I'm not super, super picky on like the lines of the parts, especially for the bottom. As we go higher, it's going to be a little bit more like perfect. So I'm going to start taking pieces. She does have some extensions in her hair, so this can totally be done with extensions or without. I'm going to grab my curling wand, start on the bottom, and then start wrapping forward. And I'm going to do this all the way around so you can see every angle. So what I'm doing is I'm just curling all the way, and I'm just letting go. And I'm letting it cool down in my hand. I bounce it to cool it down. And once I feel that it's cooled down, then I can let it go. You're going to notice that, you've already noticed that I do hair and makeup kind of differently than what schools teach, and differently than what a lot of other people do. Not because of anything else, just I'm trying to be time efficient, and I'm always running from client to client, and I don't want to do anything that's going to take too long. So why make my job harder when I can just flow right through? So meaning, a lot of people like to use clips, like clippies, and keep the curls up and then open them up at the end of the makeover. But I usually just let it go down. And the cool thing is, like I said, when I'm wrapping it and then I let go, I wrap it for a while, I let go, and I let it cool down in my hand. So that way, if the curls cool down in my hand, they actually lock down so that they're not going to weigh down and get loose later on. By the time I'm done with the top sections of her hair, the bottom sections are still going to be nicely set. So this is cool. See how bouncy that is? And now I'm just going to let it down very gently and align it with my previous one. So this hairstyle is actually going to be more of like a Hollywood wave, but it's not going to be super huge or anything. I can show you that in a separate class, how to make a very, very fluffy, big hair. This is more of the classic soft Hollywood wave. So I'm just wrapping around, waiting several seconds for, like, I kind of feel it to make sure the hair is getting really hot. And when I let go, I let it go right in my hand. If it's too hot for you guys can wear gloves. I'm just not a fan of wearing gloves, and I have a very high threshold for heat, so I can handle it. And I'm just going to let it cool down, and now I'm going to just let it drop and align it with my previous curls. See how bouncy it is? Even my clients with the most resistant hair, the straightest, thickest hair, Bombay hair curling irons gets right through it and can definitely give that bounce back and keep the hair like this all day long. Just making sure you guys can see very clearly. So I'm curling and wrapping. Waiting for all the hair to get nice and hot. And then once it's ready, I can open it up, let it cool down in my hands, kind of feel that the heat is escaping. You may want to blow on it if you're in a hurry, no big deal. And let it align with the rest of the hair. See how perfect that looks? It's pretty amazing. One more technique or tip I want to give you actually. I don't know if you guys have noticed while I was wrapping, but when I'm wrapping, the hair is actually twisting. So I'm wrapping and twisting the hair around the barrel. I'm not wrapping like a ribbon. Ribboning is when you go like this, how it's like perfectly wrapped and there's no twist. I'm just kind of ribboning it around like this. That's not how I'm doing that. I want it to twist so that it has a stronger coil to it. When you're ribboning, it's basically like you're just wrapping it around a regular curling iron that has a clamp. So that's not going to give you any difference between a regular curl and this Hollywood curl. So make sure if you want to get that Hollywood wave, you have to literally twist it while you're wrapping. Okay? So I'm just going to keep doing this throughout this section, and then I'm going to show you what I do with each section because I work from the bottom up. So it's not like I do the whole head curling and then I go back and then I tease and spray each curl and then I go back and I arrange each curl. No. What I'm doing is I'm perfecting each section before I go on to the next section. So I'm actually finishing this section from start to finish before I go on to the next section so I don't have to come back and redo anything. Again, last section here. Curling iron underneath. I'm sorry, curling wand underneath. And twist as you wrap. Be careful with the ears. Always be aware of where you're touching if you're going too close to the scalp. But if you need to go close to the scalp, I usually just blow on the scalp to let the heat escape really fast so that they don't feel like they're burning. Even though we're not actually touching their scalp, the wand, any curling wand, has a lot of heat in it. I mean, this goes up to 450 degrees. So you want to make sure that you're not, although you're not touching their scalp, you want to make sure that the heat isn't like totally driving them nuts. So I'm just letting the heat escape here. And now we can let it align with the rest. So now let me show you what I do with this whole bottom section. I'm going to put down my wand. I'm going to go in and I'm going to give it a nice spray all over. Make sure you're spraying from the top to the ends. Now, I'm just going to give it a soft tease at the root. So I'm just going in and teasing at the root just to give it a little bit more bounce. That also helps to keep my curls aligned. And then, final spray. And now you can see this amazing Hollywood wave. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a wave, this wave right here. And it's all aligned. We have even sections. And what you could do even more is, if you don't want the ends to be stringy, you can always just brush out the ends. And now we have a little bit more of that fluffier look. Another thing you could do if you really want it fluffy is to also tease underneath each wave. So like right in here and right in here, basically under every wave. And what that does is it really fluffs it out. So now each wave is super fluffy, and now I'm completely done with this section. I don't have to touch it again. Just give it a final spray. Make sure that you're cupping the waves so that they don't move around too much. And now I can bring down my next section and keep building from there. So it's pretty simple. It's not too complex. And I just like to work like this where I'm working from the bottom and then doing it, going higher and higher so that I'm not really going back and then refixing old sections. I just want to be done with that section so that by the time I reach the top, that's literally the last thing I have to do and I don't have to do anything else. So it's quick, it's efficient, and it's easy. Not a lot of product, not a lot of teasing, but the top of the head will require a lot of teasing with the bang, and I'm going to show you that at the end. So next section, going to open this up, get another little section of hair all the way around. Make sure it's a pretty even section, especially since we are trying to align each of the waves. As you get higher and higher, it's going to be more and more important to make sure that the sections are pretty aligned. Okay. Okay. So now this, also, because I have nails, it's quite easy for me to like dig in and create my sections. But normally if you don't have pointy nails like mine, or you're just not used to using your hands, you can absolutely use a, like a rat tail comb like this and create your sections that way. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next piece. Going right in, taking my piece here and just rolling and wrapping all the way around. And then once it's pretty hot, we're going to let go and let that curl cool down in your hands. We want to make sure it locks down. And bam. Next section. Wrap it around. Trying to hold it so that you guys can see. Feel that heat going through. Let it fall directly in your hand. Bounce it, let it cool down. Wear a glove if you can't handle the heat of this. It's pretty hot. You can blow on it if it's too much. Very softly let it go. Next section, same exact thing. So this is all we're going to be doing. And with every section, complete the whole section, spray it down, tease it up, let it get a little fluffy, and then move on to the next section. I feel the heat. Let it bounce, let it lock up, and see how beautiful these waves are coming out. It's so formal and so pretty. You could even do like a beach wave with this same type of curling wand, just without fluffing it up and taking smaller sections, like much smaller sections than what I'm using, and do the same wrapping method and the same twisting method. But instead of teasing it at the end, just shake it out with your hands, and you can wrap in different directions. Like if you want that messy beach wave, wrap it in one direction, then wrap it in the opposite direction per section that you're doing. And it ends up just looking like a fun, beachy, young look. But this way, the way I'm teaching you guys today, is a very, very formal look because everything is very uniform. Every wave is exactly the same size. And it's going to look very clean and sculpted. So that's why this look is much more formal and not as beachy. Although the technique of wrapping is basically the same. So wrap, wrap, wrap. Are you guys able to see this okay? I mean, do you want me to change my angle? Just let me know by commenting on my latest post. And in a minute, I'm just going to check it and try to answer some questions while we're working here. Maybe I'll have Harleen look at
Perfect.
look at that and ask me questions. So I'll give you my phone. So Harleen will be your messenger, okay? She'll make sure I answer all your questions. Let me give you the phone now. Okay, so where's my Instagram? Hello? Okay. So, any hair-related questions or any suggestions on how to move around, you could just kind of scroll up and see all those lovely questions from my gals and boys who are watching. So remember, just wrap it, wrap it, wrap it.
Do you use hair stuffers when you do updos?
All right. Question is, do you use hair stuffers when you do updos? Yep, I sure do. Especially with the updos that require a very, very big, strong look. I like to use those mesh stuffers from Sally's Beauty Supply. It looks like donuts. H&M has it now too. I use the bigger sizes, like any biggest size that they carry is what I normally use. And I will be including a look like that with the high updo, the whole Bollywood updo in my hair certification class coming up in about a month or two to demonstrate how I use them. But yes, I do use hair stuffers and extensions, whatever the bride has.
Second question: How do we this look on a person who has really curly or frizzy hair? Should we straighten it first?
Alright, so when I get a client that has very curly or frizzy hair, I require them to come to my studio with blow-dried straight hair. So I let them know that, because, you know, the thing is if they came in with their natural hair, if it was really like curly or frizzy, it would be very difficult and very time consuming for me to go ahead, smooth everything out first, and then recurl like this. So they would basically require 2 separate appointment times back to back in order for me to fully do their hair the best way. And because I book back to back, and if they don't tell me right away that, oh, I'm going to need basically 2 appointments, one for straightening out my crazy hair and then one for doing this. So, and normally clients are like, well, why would I need 2 appointments on one person? So what I tell them is if you have curly or frizzy hair, please come with hair straight. Blow dry straight is preferred, just so that it's not too straight when I'm doing it. But no big deal. If they straighten it first, I can still get this curl because this curling wand is so strong. I'm still able to get that bouncy, beautiful, healthy curl even if they straighten their hair really straight first. So however they can come in with straight hair, whether it's blow dried or straightened, I'm fine with it. But worst come to worst, if they come in with their natural hair and they just didn't know, then I just speed through the straightening process on the whole head, and then go ahead and curl section by section.
And next question: What products do you use for shine?
Nothing. The thing is with these curling wands with Bombay hair, it has infrared heat, so it actually infuses shine. Like you're seeing it right away, right here, live, right in front of you. You see that shine. And this section of hair that I just did does not have hairspray on it. So this is the shine coming straight from the wand. Then I spray it, and that kind of makes the shine a little bit more, not too much. The TRESemmé hairspray is not that shiny. But that's all I use. I do not use a shine spray, although I do own one from, okay, real quick, I'm just going to interlude. When I spray, I always touch it with my hand because I don't want, you know, the spray beads that happen on the surface. I don't want any beads of spray. So I'm scrunching it to make sure that the hairspray is going in each of the hair shafts, and then I can move forward. So anyway, back to the curling question. I have this Kenra Shine Spray. I don't know if you could really see it. Kenra Shine Spray. That's a really good shine spray for someone with very, very dull, damaged hair. And if they don't want to use regular hairspray, I put the Kenra Shine Spray on it.
Perfect. It kind of goes with this next question.
Okay.
What do you put for people who have super dry, frizzy hair so it won't look dry?
Normally nothing. I mean, unless the Kenra Shine Spray at the end if I really need it. Again, I'm just teasing a little bit under every layer here, like that, to make it really fluffy, and then drop it. Anyway, but like I said, when I'm actually styling with the Bombay Hair styling tools, it already becomes quite shiny and the frizz goes away. So no big deal. No products really needed.
Great. Do you do hair first or makeup first on a client?
I do hair first on a client. For me, hair takes longer than makeup, so I like to get that out of the way. And I like the makeup to look very fresh for my photos and everything, so I go ahead and do hair first and then the makeup.
Do you ever use hair rollers for hairstyling?
I do not. I haven't tried too much of the roller thing, except for when I was in beauty school. We did a lot of the roller sets on our lovely old ladies that would come in to get styled. So I don't actually. Again, I'm into fast, efficient ways to do hair, so I just feel like those styling tools are my life, and I just go in, do it, and look how perfect it looks. And I didn't have to put her hair in curlers. I didn't have to section it and pin it up. It looks like this right off the bat, and it's going to stay like this until she showers. Okay.
What size is the barrel?
This is 1 inch, I believe. I'm going to double check with the box, but I believe this is the 1 inch barrel. Either that or the 3/4. No, this is 1 inch because I have a 1 1/4 as well as a 3/4. So this is the middle of the 3 regular barrels. I'm going to take my next section and go all the way across. Basically above the ear to above the ear on both sides. I'm just using my nails to dig right in, get the perfect line there, and now clipping this hair out of the way, and I can do the rest here.
Okay, so the next question is, what are must-have products for a beginning kit, like a beginner's kit?
So for your beginner's kit, I would recommend curling wands, 3 sizes. I mean, there are a lot of wand sets out there that have like many different sizes, but I would say 3 sizes are all that I usually use for any look. So a smaller size, about 3/4 of an inch, would give you a nice tight springy curl. This size, the 1 inch, would give you a very nice sexy Hollywood wave like this. And then a larger size, like 1 1/4, would give you a much looser, kind of a fuller wave, which I love as well. And then I also recommend having a flat iron, and I recommend having a bunch of, bobby pins. The box of bobby pins that I use is from Sally's Beauty Supply, and I buy them by the pound, and those are excellent bobby pins. And then I also have, those hair donuts, also from Sally's, nothing crazy. And then, of course, the Tresemme hairspray. Also have, good clips like this. The clips that I have here have teeth on them, so they hold really well, so they don't just slip right off of the hair. I know, I work with a lot of Indian girls that have very thick, very dense hair. So the clips that I have all have teeth on them so that they don't just slip right off of their hair, and then there goes all my hard work with the sectioning. Yeah.
What foundations would you recommend for an artist kit?
We can go over that during the makeup class. I actually still have I've answered that question in every single class. So if you guys see some of my past classes, which are still up on the website, you'll see it's a very long answer.
Okay. What to do with thick, longer than 23 inches heavy hair? How can the curl be there after 5 to 8 hours?
If someone wants, so with this wand method, it actually keeps the curl on literally, like I said, until they wash their hair. Even if they sleep in it the next day and just brush it out, it'll still be like a soft wave. It'll still be there, even on super long hair. Now, if the hair is very heavy, you're going to have to take smaller sections. And definitely, like what I'm doing is I'm taking these sections and I'm spraying each section separately. And then making sure that the curl is cooling down before I let it go and move on to the next section. You know, all these little tips that I'm doing in today's class will help you create that longer lasting curl on any hair length, even if their hair is like super, super heavy. Another thing that I recommend is, like, let's say you have a client and she says, you know, I want this kind of a hairstyle, but I want it to last forever, and I have very, very long, heavy, one length hair. So what I would recommend is for us to, if you know how to cut hair, to give her some layers. If you're not a hairstylist, then, you know, send her somewhere to get her hair trimmed. Because adding light layers in the hair, it doesn't have to be a crazy layered cut, but adding light layers in the hair is going to remove a lot of that weight so that your client with a lot of hair can actually have that bouncy curl, and it'll last even longer because the weight is not holding it down.
All right. Would you give tips on how to keep the tease high and strong?
Absolutely. I'll show you a nice high strong tease at her bang at the end of this style. So as soon as I'm done with all of this, I'm going to get to the bang, and you have to be mind blown. It's going to be really amazing.
Her concern is sometimes it comes down, although you use a ton of hairspray.
Okay, if you're teasing the bang or wherever, all over the head, whatever it is, and you're using hairspray and it's still coming down throughout the day, that means your tease is not strong enough. So I'm going to show you how to go nuts with your teasing. I'll show you probably at the end.
Okay, and so we have another user asking, what wand are you using and how many inch sections are they, roughly?
A square inch section, and the wand is 1 inch thick.
After curling my hair, it always gets super frizzy. How can I minimize this?
If you're getting super frizzy after you're curling, then what's most likely happening is that you're moving your hair too much, or because usually the frizz happens during like rubbing. So if your hair is rubbing up against each other too much, or you're moving it from side to side too much, it can tend to get a little frizzy. Usually if you put too much hairspray and it gets really sticky, it can get frizzy that way because the hair will rub together and stick together and then create a mess. So try to do it exactly the way I'm doing it, with 1 inch sections, wrapping it around, getting it as smooth as possible, giving it a light cloud of a spray all over, and then also going like this, scrunching the hair after you spray every section so that the spray actually penetrates through and doesn't get too sticky on the surface.
Can you explain the twisting of the hair with the wand?
Sure. So basically, like, here's the section. I'm just going to do it all over again. I'm grabbing the wands, and this hair, I'm like literally twisting it as I'm wrapping it. So I'm not adding extra twists in it. I'm just holding the hair, and what happens is, like, when you're holding the hair, it like, if I'm not letting go of this, I'm holding it so tight, and I'm just pulling, and it automatically twists while I'm wrapping. Instead of me ribboning the hair, which would be like, oh my God, this is so hot, hang on. Okay, I just cooled it down, I blew on it. Wrapping the hair like this, like a perfect ribbon, that's not going to do this look. You have to have it twisted so that it can give you that Hollywood style.
Are hair wands better than the original curling irons?
I still use a curling iron if someone just wants a soft curl everywhere. Usually when they show me a picture, like usually when my clients come in, I say, do you have a picture of what you have in mind? Because sometimes when they explain something, it's not the same as what I'm thinking in my head, or if I'm saying something, it's not the same as what they're thinking in their head. So I usually ask for a picture, and if the picture looks like this, like waves it aligned like this, then I'll do it with a curling wand. If the picture is more like, kind of like the Victoria's Secret wave, where it's just kind of big, loose, kind of full curls, then in that case I'll use a curling iron. But this lasts a lot longer than a curling iron wave will.
Perfect. Can you give any suggestions on curling my own hair? I always struggle with sectioning it off. The straight hair gets mixed in with the curled hair.
Oh, sectioning it off? So I always, like I do in this class, start on the bottom and just take line after line after line. That way you're not missing anything, and you're starting from the bottom and working your way up. If you started from the top and work your way down, it's very easy to miss your lower spots. So always start from the lower edges and then work your way up.
What size wand would you recommend for medium length hair?
This size, the 1 inch.
Okay.
I'm going to quickly show you guys how I'm teasing right here. So I'm holding the hair up and I'm just pushing my comb down until I can't push further, and then it just kind of pops up. So I didn't do it this heavily for the bottom pieces because I don't need it to be all crazy and huge. That will be a totally separate class. I'll show you how to do that in another class. But for this one, I just wanted some bounce on the top of her hair here. So as I'm going higher and higher with my sections, I'm going to start teasing going up. So I've now teased this base here. Now every time I tease very hard and I spray it. Very lightly though with the spray. So again, I'm going to take a couple sections of hair here and I'm going to tease it pretty hard and spray. Take that section, tease it pretty hard and spray. And I'm only teasing the root. I'm not teasing like the whole thing. Now when I'm done teasing, I like to spread the hair. So I tease, spread, tease, spread, tease, spread. So now all of it's even and there's no breaks in my teasing. And then if I really want to smooth out these waves, I can brush the ends out so it's really fluffy and tease very lightly underneath each wave like that so it stays very, very fluffy. And all these waves will be aligned together as well. So I'm just going to brush out the ends here and create a nice fluffy layer of waves. Just teasing under each wave here, spreading it out. And now it's just laying very smoothly over the previous waves. Again, giving it a little bit of a tease under every wave, not too much because I don't want a frizzy look. Brushing out the bottom and spreading it out so it looks very soft and even.
Perfect. If someone has thin hair and doesn't want to use extensions, would you still use stuffers?
It depends on the overall look. If it's for an updo, then yeah, we will need to use a stuffer for it to look big. If it's for a downdo, then I just focus on teasing to make the hair as big as possible.
Okay. Any other curling wand suggestions? Can we get this effect with any curling wand?
Absolutely. I'm sure you absolutely can as long as it's the right size. I just love this brand because I've noticed that it works very fast and it doesn't let the hair get frizzy and it's very rich. It doesn't, because it's ceramic and they also have titanium, they don't damage the hair like other ones might. So I'm sure you can get a very similar look with other brands as well.
Do you use any heat resistance products before using a curling iron?
No, I don't like to, again, I'm not a product junkie. I keep things very simple and I feel like whether or not you're using a heat resistant product, heat is heat and it's still going to get through and dry your hair. The thing is, I personally don't like to spray anything wet before I'm curling the hair because it's going to sizzle and that already burns your hair. So I don't understand how a heat resistant product that's wet is going to protect the hair when I'm supposed to spray it and then go in with my curling wand. It starts to get like super, super crazy. Like you start to hear that sizzling noise and that gets a little scary. So I'd rather just not use it.
How to make straight, flat hair really bouncy and big? Do you use any product or you just backcomb it?
I just backcomb and then I also use, if it's really, really flat, then and if they don't want like curls, like usually these curls make it pretty fluffy, but if they're not interested in having curls, then I go ahead and use a little bit of the Leila Milani powder. Like I said at the beginning of class, there's a Leila Milani powder that's out that can give you that fluff at your root without you having to like really curl your whole head or tease.
Do you have to wrap every curl in the same direction or can you alternate the direction? If yes, what difference would it make?
So with this wave, so someone just asked about alternating directions. With this wave, I do not alternate directions because with a Hollywood wave like this or something very formal, it's got to all look exactly the same. It's got to all look very even and very aligned. So if you alternate the direction, you're not going to get any type of aligning with your waves. So the only time I ever alternate directions, someone wants a messy wave, like that beachy wave, and then they're going to get that that messy wave as long as I alternate it.
Right. How would you straighten very curly roots and baby hair?
I only use a 1-inch hair straightener, and that can get actually literally very close to the scalp. And if you don't want to burn the scalp, you could always use like a comb to separate your flat iron with the scalp. So I'll show you in a second actually. Let me get this one done, and I'm going to show you right now what I mean.
I do have baby hair, so maybe pull it.
So like I have this like this comb. What you could do is actually put the comb under the section like that, and then put the comb under this, like hold it up. You can't really do it when you're using a wand like this, so it would have to be like with a straightener. So example, like let's say that this is like my hand is the straightener, right? So I grab my section of hair. This is the straightener. So what I would do is put the comb here and go really close to the root with my straightener. And what the comb is going to do is it's going to prevent your straightener from touching her scalp. So the comb will be what's absorbing the heat and protecting her scalp, and then you can go in. There's also tiny straighteners, like those mini straighteners out there, that you can get really close to the baby hairs with that. That's what I would use.
What would you use to get big, voluminous hair without curls?
The same. That was basically the same question from before. Yeah, with a big hair don't care powder from Leila Milani.
Perfect. What straightening iron would you recommend? Are GHDs the best?
I don't use GHD. I've never tried it actually. I feel like they're all kind of the same. I used to love Chi. And right now I'm currently using FHI and Bombay Hair. Those are my two straightening irons. I always have two because I usually like to have one for myself and one for my clients.
Right. Do you have one set price for updos and styling, or does it vary on clients' wants and needs?
It starts at one price and it goes up because obviously if a client has very, very thick and curly hair and you're required to work double the amount of time, then you have to charge for your time and you have to charge for all that work. So on my website, typically like it would say, okay, it starts at whatever price and it goes up. And it varies based on the amount of hair and how much work is involved. But most of my rates are pretty basic. I mean, most of the styles and the people that I work with, I just kind of stick to one price and I don't like to get too complicated. I mean, but there's two different like sections of prices basically. There's one section of just bridal, so that's one category, and then the other category is non-bridal, so they have two different pricings.
Okay. What hair growth serums or oils do you recommend for thin hair?
You know what? To be honest, Amla oil, the Indian oil from the Indian store. Amla oil is probably the most raved about oil. Like everyone's talking about Moroccan oil and all that stuff. No, girl. Indians know what's up. And Indian girls from India, even from here.
I use it.
Yeah, I grew up using it. When I was little, my mom used to put Amla oil, AMLA. Amla oil in my hair, massage it. They'd massage it in the scalp and they'd beat our heads. They beat it in our scalp to get the blood flow going. So the nutrients of the oil gets in the scalp and it really helps to feed and nourish the hair. Now, it has a smell to it. I don't mind the smell. To be honest, I don't mind it. I love Indian smells. So like, I don't really mind like henna. I don't mind the henna smell either. But some people are offended by that smell. So what I would recommend is if you want to use it, massage it and beat your head with it at night, go to bed, and then in the morning wash it off. Mm-hmm. It's amazing for the hair.
Put a towel on your pillow.
Yeah, put a towel on the pillow. Definitely. oil.
Is the curling technique the same if someone wants the same kind of curls on their own hair?
Yes, exactly the same curling technique if you're going to do it on your own hair. It's a little harder because you can't really go all the way 360 behind your head, but you can bring your hair forward, and as long as you're curling it in the same direction, you're fine.
What's a good shampoo that won't give you second day hair with oil?
I use Tresemme shampoo as well, and it's the volumizing one. So I'm able to go like a good few days without having to wash my hair. My hair is super dry actually, so if I wash it every day, it ends up flaking like crazy. I have a horrible flakage problem because of my dry scalp. So, but the Tresemme shampoo, the volumizing one, it's called 24-Hour Body. That one usually does a good job with keeping my hair nice and like fresh looking for a few days. Or if I ever get a little oily, I have dry shampoo, the Renee Fertier. It's in a green spray can. It's my favorite dry shampoo, and I use that mainly on my roots, my scalp in the front, like my vein area here. I actually just used it, and it makes it look like it's freshly washed.
Okay. What would you do different for African American hair or hard to curl hair like mixed or Asian hair?
I do the exact same thing for my African American clients. I do have African American clients that have asked for a wave like this, and it's basically the same thing. I just have them come with pre-straightened hair, and then I can do the curls the same exact way. Because I use a wand, it's very strong. Like I said, we'll get through any type of hair. No biggie.
Yeah, my curl never stays no matter how much hairspray I use. What do? I just bought the new magic wand. Heard it's good for my hair type. Haven't tried it on yet properly. Just curled one little piece of hair and it didn't stay for long. Sad face.
Just use this method. Just use the method that I'm showing you right now. It could either be the method that you curled it, or it could be the actual wand. Maybe it just was not a good brand.
Perfect.
I'm just spreading the hair right now. As I'm working to the top of the hair, I'm becoming a little bit more careful with the look of it. I want it to spread and look a little bit more fluffy like this. So I'm just gonna spray it a little bit here. And I'm gonna tease the roots of this. Spray it and let it fluff down, and I'm gonna spread it out and make sure my ends are nice and fluffy as well. I don't want any stringy ends. And then same with the other side. Do a little tease at the root, spray, and bring it all down. Smooth out the ends, make sure it doesn't look too stringy.
What is your take on heat protection and damage? My ends seem to split and get rough after using heat.
That always will happen. Same thing, like I don't use a heat protectant spray because I feel like nothing happens with that. Like I used a spray on myself for a while and I still got the same split ends that I would have without using it. Nothing really changed. The only way to make sure that you don't get too damaged is to simply to stop blow drying and stop using hair heat products. But that's impossible when we're in this industry and we're doing it. We have to be our walking advertisement. You can't walk out with crappy hair when you're a hairstylist. And even, with parties and stuff, you can't just go in with like air dried hair unless you have like the best natural hair there is. It's just impossible to completely get away from heat products. So just minimize it. Try not to do it every day. That's the only thing you could really do. And then make sure you're getting constant trims. Like make sure your hairstylist is trimming the ends of your hair every few months at least. Like I have clients that come in every 8 weeks to just trim in just the ends of their hair to just keep it looking healthy. So yeah, get regular trims and just try to minimize your heat use.
Do you color hair? If so, would you do a demo online?
No. It would be impossible to do a demonstration online with color, There are 3 reasons why. Number 1, it takes way too long. I've done ombres on clients that took about 4 or 5 hours, and there's just no way I can do that kind of thing live online. Another thing is that it's not something I will promote teaching, because teaching it to the public is very, very tricky when you're teaching something that you have to be state board licensed for. I am state board licensed to cut, color, perm, whatever. I don't offer those services anymore because I just don't have enough time in the day. Like, I literally don't even have 45 minutes to myself, let alone 4 hours on a client to color hair. So I used to color hair up until earlier this year, and I stopped offering that service simply because I'm doing a million other things now, and I just cannot fit in that kind of service. And also because I became very allergic to bleach. So now I can't even color my own hair. I have to go to someone to do my hair, to do my bleach and ombre. And what they do is they foil it up so I do not have to feel the fumes of it, and they wash me pretty quickly. So for all those reasons, I cannot do that. But the biggest reason is really because of the time and the fact that not all of you are state board certified. So I don't want to show you guys how to do something that's kind of illegal to do on other people if you're not state board certified. Sorry.
How do you tame flyaways?
With this method, you're not going to really have flyaways, but if you did have like a few little flyaways, what I do is you could spray your finger and just like literally like flatten out your flyaways.
Okay. What's the heat you have the iron set on, and does it vary with different clients?
I have this iron set on the highest number, which is 450 degrees. And what I do is if I have a client that has very, very fine hair, then I'll go ahead and set it to a little bit less, like 300 degrees. And if I can slowly make it hotter and hotter, then I'll go ahead and try to, get it a little bit hotter so it can give a better curl. But if I can get away with using it at 300, then I'll go ahead and use it at 300.
Perfect. Can you achieve this look with a blow dryer and a round brush?
No. Not exactly. I mean, it would be bigger. It's not going to be this small and this textured. But I mean, you could. I guess the answer is yes and no. This exact look is not going to happen with the blow dry method. But you can do a similar thing. It's just going to look a lot bigger.
Perfect. How would you wash off the oil from your hair?
I'm sorry?
How would you wash off the oil?
Oh, the amla oil?
Mm-hmm.
You would have to use a couple rounds of shampoo to get all the oil off. A couple rounds. And not so much conditioner, because then you're just going to get the oil back.
Yeah.
This is almost my last section, guys. After this, I'm going to show you all that teasing and that sexy bang thing.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that most almond oils have mineral oil as the first ingredient. Is 100% almond oil needed? Where can I find it?
You can find it at the Indian store. Almond oil and coconut oil and amla oil are the main ones at the Indian stores, and it will say 100% on it.
Between a curling iron and big rollers, which one would hold big, voluminous hair for longer?
If you want big, like bouncy hair, the rollers will give you that bounce at your roots, and it usually lasts a pretty good amount of time. But I can get that same thing with a curling wand, just a bigger one. If you want bigger waves, just get like an attachment that's a larger size. Okay, so my surprise is I'm coming out with my own line of hair curling ones and straighteners and the set and everything with Bombay Hair. Like we're collaborating on this like truly amazing set. So why am I so bright? Is this thing, maybe I should like put this in front and like be a little closer. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, whatever. So this amazing new thing is coming out really soon. We're going to start pre-selling it next week so you guys can actually see what it is. It's actually an entire kit of everything you'll need to use that can do anything. So this entire kit is going to be a discounted rate of everything you would need, including 3 of these. So it's going to have the curling wands with 3 attachments, the 3 that I actually mentioned. So the only 3 that I ever use, I'll take a seat for a second. The only 3 that I ever use is this size, which is the 1 inch, and I have a 3/4 inch attachment, and I have a 1 1/4 inch attachment. So you can get every size, like this is a medium, and you can get it tinier or you can get it bigger, and it's pretty amazing. And it's also going to have clips and tools, and it's also going to have a 1 inch straightening iron. So that's literally all you're going to need to get started in hairstyling, whether it's for yourself or on clients. So I would definitely recommend getting something like that, especially at the discounted rate that we're going to offer everything in one set. I will give you guys all details really soon, and we can start the pre-sale basically next week, around Christmas time. And it's going to be pretty epic. I'm really excited because the way I designed it is exactly what I would use and what I would pray for if I had a kit to use. So I basically picked and choose my favorite metals, my favorite handles, my favorite designs, things I wanted as far as what I could get made. And Bombay Hair decided to do it with me, and so we collaborated on this amazing line for you guys. We're also coming out with hair extensions. They're going to be for color treated hair or for hair that's solid color that just wants some fun color in it. It's going to be ombre and highlighted hair extensions. I'm so excited for that. That's coming out next. But for now, I really want to show you guys my curling ones and everything, and I'm so excited to finally be able to reveal it this coming week. Ah. All right, back to work. This last piece. Go ahead.
How would you repair bleached hair?
You have to cut it. I mean, when it's bleached and it is very damaged, as in like breakage, the only thing that's going to repair it is a cut. Hair is dead. It's not a live thing. Hair is dead skin cells and dead cells that grow out of your head. So there's no way to revive something that's already dead. It's, in fact, when your hair is really damaged and the end is super frayed, it's basically dead on dead. So you just have to cut it and keep conditioning it. The conditioner isn't going to revive it. It's only going to put a coating over it to make it feel softer. So don't be fooled into thinking that, okay, my hair is actually reviving. No, it's being coated so it looks better and feels better, which is fine by me. I don't care if it's really revived as long as it looks good. So yeah, very, very bleached hair, like dead hair, you just gotta cut it to start over. Wrapping it, making sure I'm not getting too close to her scalp. Let it get really, really hot and then let it fall in your hand. Let the heat escape it. There.
How have you done thick waves in your hair? Love it.
Same wand. Grab it, coil it around. Except I'm not doing it from the scalp. I'm just taking random sections. I didn't even section my hair. And I just let it go, and it becomes like this cool kind of funky wave. And I did it outward here, and then on this side I did it outward here. So it's kind of flipping out on both directions. Last section here. Wrapping.
This is a really good question. Will your hair tools be compatible for use in UK internationally, i.e. voltage and 3-pin sockets?
You know what? I actually, I was talking to Bombay Hair about that, and we are going to be offering it because they actually offer a whole line for the different sockets as well for UK. So we are working on getting it international, or at least having a converter. I'm so excited for that line. Like, you guys have no idea. I've been keeping it a secret for so long. Okay, so I'm going to tease this hair right at the root again. Tease, tease, tease. And, another cool thing is it's going to have a digital thermometer. So you can... It's not like just one heat setting. You can set it on any heat amount. If you wanted it 200 degrees or if you wanted it 400, whatever. So I'm just using the root, spray it out, smooth it out, let it be a little fluffy, spread it so it's not stringy. Do the same all over. Spray.
Looks perfect.
I love. And now for this, oh sorry, I'm going to move you a little bit this way. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do here, this is her last piece of hair that's going to be this way. The rest of her hair is going to go the other way. So what I'm going to do here is give her a last very smooth, nice curl. I'm going to dip down so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to let it go and let it flow right down. Because this is a section that is going to be visible at the end, I need it to be super perfect. So I'm not going to brush that out yet. I'm just going to leave it coiled like that. And now you can see I just have this other side to be done. So I'm just going to turn you back this way. And we're going to finish up this last section here, and then we're going to start doing the bangs, which is going to be super, super important. So definitely take lots of pictures so that you know, you remember how to do this. So with this last little section here, I'm just going to curl it the same exact way that I've been doing. Taking my wand directly under it and wrapping it around. So I'm blowing on her scalp because I have to get really close to her scalp. So I'm just blowing on it to make sure that she's not getting super burnt. And now I'm going to let this piece of curl just cool down in my hands. Okay. And now this last couple pieces here, and then we're going to do that amazing bang. Pulling that out, letting the heat escape here, and the last piece right along here. Any other cool questions you got?
Can you do more hair tutorials, especially updos?
I can add in some easy updo options, not too time consuming, only because my crazy updos take about an hour to an hour and a half by itself, without me even explaining my steps. That's how long I take on my brides and stuff. So if I had to explain every step, it would take double the amount of time. So that would be like a 3-hour class. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try to fit in some easy updo classes where it doesn't require that much time. So easy styles that you can do on your clients if you're starting out or on yourself. And some braided styles I'm going to be showing you, some really cool fishtail braids and some really pretty looks that you could do on yourself as well. And I'm in my hair certification course line, I am going to have those harder updos in that course line, which is going to be totally separate. It's for those who want to take a certification course with me online. So I will have it for that for sure.
Could you tell us what makeup you're wearing each class, and also if we have really short layers on top, what do you recommend for curling?
Okay, so yeah, for my makeup, I'm sorry, I think my last class I forgot to let you guys know what I was wearing. I pretty much wear the same makeup every time I'm on live channel because I'm not big on makeup. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not like those other girls who are so gorgeous and so good with their makeup and they wear makeup every day, and I just don't have that kind of time because I work 80 hours a week minimum. I literally don't sleep. last night was the first night I slept in like a week. It was ridiculous. I usually, like the other day I was working, I did a huge class with Gigi Gonessa from Shawty Sunset. She was my model, as well as Hazel E from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. They were both my celebrity models. I was doing this class and I didn't get home until 3:30 in the morning. It was a nighttime event that ended like around 11, and then like the cleanup and getting everything together and finally getting home at 3:30, and then I had to work at 6 a.m. the next morning. So like that's my life. It's a little nuts. So I don't really have time to do my makeup all the time. I'm not really into that life. Like, I love the glam life and I'm very picky on my clients. I want to make sure my clients look spot on every day. But on myself, it's just like, it's like the last thing I really want to do. So when I do my makeup, it's very rare. It's only if I'm going to an event or for you guys to look, you know, presentable on camera. So I will, after class, I'll talk to you guys about what I'm wearing and what was the other question?
So if we have really short layers
Oh
on
yeah,
top.
the short layers on top. So I used to have short layers on top. They kind of grew out a little bit. Alan, my hairstylist, is like, you need to kind of grow out your layers. I'm like, no, I love my short layers. I love my bounce. But he kind of talked me into it. So I'm growing it out a little bit, meaning like just to here. See, they're still short. But yeah, when I had really short layers, what I would do is you'd have to get really close with your curling. If you're going to use a curling wand, you have to go really close to the root and start curling and let there be like a cool S wave with your short layers. If you just want a bounce or if you want it straight, then use a straightening iron, smooth it, go up and smooth it down and just curl the ends in or out. And then the rest of your hair can be curly and it's totally fine to have that top layer a little bit straighter.
And that's the last one.
Cool. Okay, so for the rest of the Q&As, I'll do it at the end of class. Now is one of the most important parts of class, which is the front. So before I do the front, I just want to make sure I get a nice teased top here. So I'm going to bring this up and we're going to tease the very, very top. Perfect. Tease the top, spray it, and spread it out. Again, we're going to tease the top, spray it, and spread it out. So now we have this like cute bump going on top, and now we are ready for the rest. Now, I'm going to show you a variation of this look right after. This is for like that full kind of very bouncy look right here. But at the end, what we can do is kind of align each wave. Like, here's a couple variations. I'll just show you now before we do the bang. A couple variations is to go ahead and align all these waves. Let me turn you a little bit more. Okay. To align all these waves. And then, remember how in the beginning I was like, if you go ahead and tease between each wave, you get like that nice fluff. So what we can do is definitely tease under each wave. And basically what that does is it creates like a much more uniform, fluffy look. So it's not like here's messy curly, and then here is the uniform kind of fluff. So if someone wants that uniform fluff, do what I just did, which is take a good section and tease under each wave. Just align it and spread it out. And it becomes like more of that fluff going on. I'll do the same on the other side so you can see again. I take a good section of hair. I'm going to just brush it a little bit to align each of the waves here. And I'm going to spread it out a little. And I'm going to go in and do one solid tease there. And here's another wave. I'm going to do one solid tease under that wave. And then this last piece, one solid tease here. And now we have this beautiful fluffy wave here. So that's kind of what I do. You can do the same thing on the ends if you want the ends to be a little bit more on the fluffy side. We can brush the ends out again, make sure everything is looking aligned, and then really just start teasing under each of those layers to get it super fluffy. So now we have this kind of a nice fluffy wave here. And then lastly, make sure this is all brushed out. Where there's a lot of short layers, you can literally just brush it out and it starts to align with the rest of the look. So I'm going to show you here how this whole thing is now aligned very nicely simply by brushing it out a little bit and making sure the ends don't look super stringy or anything. So once you have this like beautiful bouncy wave, just give it a nice spray so that it doesn't move around too much. Make sure you cup each layer so that it doesn't move around again. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And now I'm going to get started on the bangs, which you guys have all been waiting for. My favorite part, the bang. All right, so working on the bang now. We're going to get a little closer so you guys can totally see what I'm doing. All good. So now for this last beautiful section. This is going to like literally make the look 1,000 times sexier. Again, I'm starting from the bottom. So I'm going to take this section here. Get this out of the way. We're going to take this section, get this wand, pick it up, because with the bang area, I need the curls to be over directed, meaning I don't want them flat up against her. I want it poofed up and over. So I'm going to have this hair literally, maybe I'll turn you a little bit this way. There we go. You can see that. So the hair is kind of being pulled up and then curling over. Letting it cool down. Feel that heat escape. And letting it fall. Next section. We're going to do the same exact thing. Pulling it up and wrapping it around. Holding it there for the whole thing to get nice and hot. Let it go in the hand, cool it off. And let it just flow right over. It's stunning. Over here though, I am going to tease. We're going to spray these two pieces that we just created. I don't really need to tease this bottom piece, but I do want to tease this top piece so I can start that flip, that wave on the top. So I'm teasing pretty heavily and spraying it down. And now we have like this crazy piece of like major volume here. And give it a final spray. Okay, that part's done, looking cool already. Now for one more piece. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick it straight up. I need this piece to be over directed. So we're going to pick it straight up, put the wand right under it, and start wrapping it so it's over directed. Okay, we're going to hold it down for it to get really warm. You can blow on the scalp if you feel like she's going to get burned or feel that heat too much. And now we're going to let these curls literally sit on her head because it's already on her head, so it's not going to fall. We're going to let it cool down and sit right over. Once it's cooled down, we can tease the root and spray it. Pick it straight up. Tease the root. So I'm teasing, the way I tease, I'm going to really explain this to you like in slow-mo. The way I tease is I'll do it from behind so that you guys can see. I put the comb through the hair and I push the hair down. I let go, I go up, and I push the hair down. And I'm doing it pretty hard. I'm pulling her hair because I really needed to push the hair down really strong. So there's no way this hair is going to flatten up later in the night. If your client's head is very sensitive, sorry, like you have to get that tease really strong in order for this to hold. If your client's head is sensitive and they're asking you not to tease it, it's not gonna last. So they're gonna get a cute picture probably at your salon It'll look good for like an hour, but probably as soon as they get to their event, it's going to die down. So you have to educate your client and let them know, okay, I have to tease it like this in order for it to last all night. Otherwise, if you only want it to last for a little bit, no big deal. I'll do it without too much teasing. In their case, like I have a couple clients that don't like a lot of teasing. So in their case, I just do a very light tease and I spray it and I let it go. But for her today, I just really want you to see how I tease. So I tease pretty heavily and I stop when my bristles cannot go past the tease. So right now I have a solid 1.5 inches of strong tease. And now that my bristles can't even penetrate through that tease, I know that it's strong enough. It's going all the way from the root, so there's no way that it can fall. And now I can spray it right at the tease and then spray the rest of the hair. And it has like this, like, it's totally picked up. So now we're going to get a little bit closer so you can see what I did here. So I just teased it right here. And now I'm going to put this hair forward and spread it. Remember my spreading thing? I always spread the hair after I tease it. So you can see that kind of beautiful lift right there. And then again, making sure I can make those ends not look stringy or anything. So I brush them together so it has this nice kind of a curve. Okay? So now for the last section or 2 sections, let's see how much hair we have left here. We'll do 2 sections. So this piece here, same exact thing. I'm going to take my wand, over direct the hair this way. Put my wand down and start wrapping it back. Okay, so the wand is being wrapped back. We're going to wait for it to get really hot. Let it go, let it sit right there. Blow on it, cool it down. Let that heat escape. Give it a nice spray. Open it up, spray it again. See how bouncy that is? And now we're going to tease it the same exact way I did before. Tease it until the tease cannot go further down. Getting it real strong right in there. Spray it. Spread it. And then brush the ends in. For now, I'm going to be using this soft teasing brush here, the boar hair bristle one. And that's going to kind of fuse all this hair together to make it look very uniform all together. So now that's all done. And now we have one last piece coming from here, from this side. And we're going to bring that over, and that will be the final piece. Let me just bring this over here. Last section. Bring the hair on one side, put the wand in, and really start to get it to curl over. Hold it down to get it really, really, really warm. As close to the root as possible without burning. Let it go, let it sit right there. Cool it down. Give it a little spray. And we're teasing. And spray the base, spray the rest, and now the final smoothing. Spread it out, give it that sexy wave. See how high we can get it? Like, it's pretty intense. You can get it as high as they want it, or you can get it flatter. It's totally up to you and your client. So what I like to do at this point is to smooth out the baby hairs from the roots here. So I've smoothed this out, and now I'm going to spray the roots to get all the baby hairs back. I love to use my hands. Do the same for that side. And now we can use this brush or this brush to smooth out the rest. So I'm going to do a little bit more smoothing on the top until we're happy with the amount of height that she has. I would say this looks pretty formal and nice. It kind of looks like bridal. You could totally wear this for your reception or something. Smooth out the ends, make it look very, very soft. Make sure there's no teasing showing in the back. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of moving her to the back here and smoothing out all the tease. Make sure her hair looks nice and smooth. And we can spray all this to make sure it doesn't move around. This is how her hair looks in the back. Very nice and soft. And now for this side a little bit. I'm going to brush that a little bit. And looking very, very nice and soft. So now, if your client wants it even softer in the back, you can use the Miracle Brush to really soften everything up. So once you've waited this long, all of the hair has now had a chance to lock down the curl. We can now brush everything out, and it ends up looking like such a soft, beautiful Hollywood wave. So giving it that soft brush. I can't really do this with my other brushes, only because this one has those short hairs and the long pieces. That's why I'm able to get such a soft brush through with her hair. And then I give it another spray just to make sure that all these waves kind of stay in place. And finally, going to the front, we're going to bring her hair in the front. If you want to have that very formal look, give it a final brush. Smooth all this out. And then spray it in place once you're happy with the placement. Next, I'm going to show you just one more little thing. It's one more variation, especially for the holidays if you're going to an event for Christmas or for New Year's or whatever. I want to show you with a couple of bobby pins what I would do to give her a much more formal version of this style. So right now, what's happening here is I have her bangs, and it's in a nice curl. So I'm going to spray that curl to go back and create like this nice little wave like right here. Looking really good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply one little bobby pin to give it that perfect S wave so it doesn't move throughout the night. She can dance all she wants and it will be okay. So the brand of bobby pins that I like is from Sally's Beauty Supply. It's from Salon Care, and it's just a 1 pound box of bobby pins. I'm going to go right in, and I'm going to apply one piece of bobby pin and just stick it right in her hair to hold up that curl. So having one little bobby pin isn't going to really show in pictures or anything, but I just applied it right in here to keep her curl up. Okay? Right in there. One. You could do as many bobby pins as you need to get that strong curl, but for the sake of this look, I like to keep it as not pinned as possible. I'm just going to make sure I'm spraying all of this because I don't want any loose ends flying around. Okay? And now for the other side, I'm going to show you another, I don't know how to walk past you. Okay. I'm just going to go like that. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to show you what I do on this side. So now if your client wants to have one side up, it's going to actually look a lot more formal. So having it all down is very sexy and very red carpet. But if they prefer to have it a little bit more structured, I like to brush one side up. I'm going to turn a little bit this way. Let me move this table a little. Okay. Turn a little bit this way. So, I'm going to brush this side up, give it a good spray, like pretty close. And I use my hands to kind of flatten out her baby hairs. Brush this all back. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a triangle formation. So what I did right now is with my nails, I'm taking her bottom hair here and her top hair here, and I'm creating a triangle. Okay? So it's basically like line here. So triangle right there so that this hair can eventually go over it. And I'm going to bobby pin this back. So with a couple of bobby pins, I'm going to have you look right there. Perfect. I'm going to put one bobby pin all the way up. And I'm going to take one bobby pin and I'm going to cross pin it. Meaning I'm putting this pin right across the previous pin so that it doesn't move. Now I can bring her hair over it to hide the bobby pins. I can give it a final spray so it looks all clean and smooth and very formal. And voila, we now have the perfect Hollywood side do, or she can have all her hair in the back and it would be a cascading amount of curl right behind. So we have this beautiful poof right up here. We have all of this lovely curl, and because we sprayed each piece, we actually have the perfect amount of hold without it looking too dry. It looks very nice and healthy. It's still movable and bouncy because we use the wand, and she looks perfect enough to go to her own wedding, let alone a holiday party. So I'm absolutely in love with this look. I think it suits you actually really well. This is actually the first time that I'm doing her hair. I've never done her hair before, and I think this was awesome for you. It just looks great. All right, so what do you guys think? Is it something you think you can try at home? I think you absolutely can, and I think the hardest part about this is really just getting that tease strong enough so it actually holds it up. So remember what I said, tease it very strong at the base, and then spread each tease so that you don't have to have chunks of hair in one section. You spread it out, it looks very smooth, everything's looking nicely sculpted. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you guys a perfect 360 view of her amazing hair. So here you go. Da, 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 da. Beautiful, beautiful. The back looks like this. Fluffy, gorgeous, ready to dance the night away. I'm loving it. It's so bouncy and so beautiful. This is the side coming this way. She's just looking like $1,000,000. I'm so in love with this style. It's so gorgeous. And now back to bringing it to the front. And she's ready for her glamorous pictures for her New Year's Eve party. Yay! We're done with this look. I'm so happy that it turned out amazing. You're kind of ready to, you need to find an event to go to.
I know.
She needs to go somewhere because she doesn't have anywhere to go tonight. So if you guys have any suggestions of parties, please write them in my comments. I'm kidding. But yes, you do have to show off this look somewhere. So I hope you.
Well, thank you. It looks gorgeous.
Don't waste it.
And I love the way that you teased it in the back, and when I was watching you do it with the perfect curl, like the perfect shape in the back, because usually when I do it, I do it just on the top part, and then it kind of falls flat. There's like the perfect bump in the back.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So what she's saying is sometimes when you just tease on the top, it gives you the egg head, and then it's all flat back here. So it's important to start your teasing around here. So you not only have this perfect bump on top, but you also have that roundness coming to the side. It's not as important to tease the nape, But once you get halfway up, you need to start teasing to get that bounce in the hair. It's just looking so perfect. I'm so in love. So I'm going to have you hang out right next to me. I'm going to sit down for a little bit, answer some questions, and talk to you about my next giveaway. And then I'm going to take some final pictures of you, and we can post it so you guys can comment about how beautiful she looks. So again, thank you to my model, Harleeny, Harleeny is her Instagram name. You can sit right next to me if you like, in the comfy chair. Okay, so I'm going to whip out my phone now and answer some questions pertaining to whatever at this point. During this whole time, I was already answering some Q&A questions regarding hair. So now I'm open to any questions you guys have, whether it's hair or makeup or anything. I'm just going to open up my page, the last post here. If you're just joining us right now, this post here, I want you to go ahead and ask me anything, and I'll go and answer a few questions for the next like 5-10 minutes or so, just a few questions, because this entire time I was actually answering Q&A questions while I was working. So let's see. My hair feels awful after teasing. It's all tangly, and even when I wash it. How do I solve this? And also, I put hairspray and then tease. Is that okay? Yeah, if your hair is really, really silky and you can't get it teased, then you could add a little bit of hairspray and then tease, and then spray it again so it can hold. As far as washing the tease out, and I tell this to my brides all the time, when you're washing out your tease and brushing out your tease, it hurts so bad if you're going to brush it out while it's dry, or even when it's wet, it really hurts. So if you're trying to brush it out and you can't, don't worry. You're going to incur a lot of breakage if you're like really brushing it out. So don't worry about that. Just put a little extra conditioner in when you're in the shower. Use conditioner to slip out your hair, and use your fingers to open up the teasing. You could use a shower brush. They sell shower brushes pretty much everywhere, or like really big brushes with wide bristles, and you can use that, combs, big combs, and you can use that to comb through your hair with conditioner to help open up the tease. So that's how I would detangle after your hair has been done up for some event. Oh, and that's another question from someone else too. What's the best way to untease the hair? That's how I would say a nice, very, very moisturizing conditioner, and use a big comb to kind of get it out in the shower. And then how do you stop the teased hair from looking frizzy? As far as what I did on my model, I teased like crazy inside, but on the outside, remember how I whipped out finally this the boar hair teasing brush? This one here. This one actually afterward will smooth out the section without messing up the tease underneath it, because it's thick boar hair. It's not going to penetrate through all your hair and mess up all your teasing. It's only going to penetrate through the top layer of hair, and then you can fake the fact that you have teased hair underneath it. Also, this lovely Miracle brush can smooth out the tease and actually create more of a, look what it just did. It just made my hair super fluffy. So that kind of prevents that really frizzy look from happening. I have really silky hair. When I curl my hair, it stays for maybe 2 or 3 hours. What can I do so the curls stay longer? Okay, if you missed most of my class, just watch this class. Every single thing that I did in this class is for hair to last as long as possible, no matter how silky your hair is, no matter how thick and heavy your hair is. Using a curling wand is going to be like the best thing for you. And then making sure that every section, like the way I did Harleen, every single section that I did, I sprayed it and fluffed it and did everything I needed to do to complete it. And then I moved on to the next section, so that at the end, once all the sections have already been cooled down and everything is perfectly set, even if you brush it, which I did at the end, I brushed her hair like completely, and it still bounced up into this beautiful curl because it locked it. So that's what's proving to me that her hair is going to look like this till tomorrow even, or day after even. As long as she doesn't wash her hair, it's going to keep that beautiful curl, even if her hair is resistant. She was wearing extensions. I know extensions are really hard to curl, and this thing curled it like that. So I'm just so excited that my wands are coming out with the same company. It's just truly amazing, and I have a surprise for you in a minute. So I'm just going to answer a couple questions real quick, 2 more questions, and then I'll reveal my surprise. So let's see. With this technique, would you get the same results for thin hair to look very voluminous? Yes. So you would just need to do a little bit more teasing if it's thin hair. So for thinner hair, especially on top, I just do a little extra teasing all over the top section. Even though she doesn't have super thin hair because she had extensions in her hair, but it's still not super thick. So I did do teasing. My hair, let me just reveal something real quick. This is all my hair. When I twist it, it's this little. I don't have hair. I'm like one of the rare Indian girls that wasn't blessed with thick hair. And my other half is Afghan, and most of my Afghan friends have thick hair too. So both my parents couldn't give me thick hair. So that's why I used amla oil growing up, and I had thick hair when I was really, really young, but then it thinned out as soon as I grew up and stopped using amla oil. And I don't think it was really just because of the amla oil. I really think it was because I started color treating it. I started spending more time in the sun, and that was damaging my hair. I was being careless and, you know, not really protecting my hair or prevent, like I blow dried it and I straightened it and I did all sorts of stuff throughout my high school years. And then as soon as I got into cosmetology school when I was 17, I went nuts. I've been every color there is. Like I've been through every single shade. If you're on my Facebook or like my old MySpace, you'll see every color on my head, from blue to orange to purple to red to pink to lavender to everything. So my hair kind of died and it's gotten thin, and I'm still able to bleach it without it like totally breaking off, but I feel your pain. So for thin hair, what I do on myself and what I do on most of my clients, I tease the crap out of the top. I even tease a lot of the root too, because the bottom nape too, because I like it to be fluffy kind of all over. And then I just make sure when I'm spraying it, I'm not spraying it too much, because then it can look a little damp. So I do spray my roots pretty well, but I also kind of go in like this to open it up and to spread it out so it looks fluffier. So it's all about going fluffy. And when I curl my hair, now I'm only curling with the curling wand, so I can get this like kind of nice flowy look, and it's looking as big as possible. So those would be my tips for thin hair. One more question, and then I'm going to talk about the next giveaway. So let me just refresh and see if there's anything really, really important that I need to talk about right now, and then we'll go on to the next topic. Let's see. Oh, okay. Can you show us how you did your hair on yourself? Oh, for your brother's wedding. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I did an updo on myself for my brother's wedding. He's actually my first cousin, but I call him my brother because we grew up together. I'm actually an only child, but I call him my brother. So for my brother's wedding, I did an updo, which I think I do want to see if I'm able to show you guys for one of the hair classes. It's with the same curling wand, except it's a smaller attachment. So it's the 2/3 attachment, or no, I'm sorry, 3/4 attachment, 3/4 of an inch. It's kind of tiny. And I use that to curl all my head first, like crazily. And then I basically brought it all back into like a half pony, and I twisted it back here. And then on the bottom, I added, like Sally's Beauty Supply has those mesh round stuffers. I put that on under my hair here. I had made ponytails, and I put that on under my ponytails. And then I wrapped all my curls around that bun. So it ended up being like a really, really messy bun. And then the top was really messy. And then I added like a headpiece right along here. So I kind of looked like a princess. It was really fun. So I think I'll try that look sometime, you know. Let's see if I'm able to fit that in. I definitely will. But it for sure will be a part of the hair certification classes. So now I'm going to talk to you about those things. So again, if you missed the beginning of class, I sat down and, well, I wasn't sitting down, but I was here with my model, and I was talking about the hair certification classes, the makeup certification classes, and all that good stuff. So my plan is next year I'm going to be touring around to finish the Dress Your Face Masterclass tour, which I started about like a year and a half, 2 years ago in Toronto, and I finished a bunch of really big cities, and now I'm going to finish all the rest of my big cities, and I will announce those cities probably by the end of January, where I'm going and what we're doing. But we're going to be touring, and so I know that a lot of my students that have been wanting to do one-on-ones with me, like all year this year and the past million years, I've been doing one-on-ones with students and certifying them. So when they come here, they bring a model and we do the whole certification class in one day, and it's very intense. So I actually have to pre-screen my students and make sure they're already at that level to be learning from me in one day. Some of my students require 3 days, so they'll, get a 3-day package and all that stuff. So with that said, now that I'm doing my tour, it's going to be very hard for me to fit in all the students that are on my wait list. And now that the wait list has been closed for so many months, I'm going to open up a new wait list for next year. And I'm pretty sure that's going to fill up within a day. So it's going to be kind of crazy. And I don't want to make you guys wait 2-3 years for me to come back and start teaching one-on-one again. So what I'm formulating right now with my team, and it's basically done, we just have to roll it out, is a way to certify my students online. So we are going to have an entire course line of classes for makeup artists who want to be certified by me. It's going to go over every single detail very, very intensely. So some of the topics will be topics that we've covered before in class, but it's going to be a little bit more information. And some of the topics are brand new topics that are strictly for professionals. So it's going to be a very, very intense course. It's going to be a separate package altogether. You have to be a member to get in that group of certified students, because I want to make sure that you continue learning, because I'm not able to see you in person. I'm not able to check your work. So we are going to have a final examination at the end of the course. And that way, once you pass the final exam, we will mail you your online training certificate. So that's going to be truly amazing. I'm so excited to roll that out, and I'll let you guys know exactly when that begins. It's going to happen pretty soon. And so with that said, I'm also doing a hair certification course separately as well for those who want to get my hair certificate. These are going to be very, very affordable certificates. My current course of training for 1 day per student is $1,500. So you guys are all going to get this type of training, except it's obviously not in person, but it's going to be very, very detailed, and you learn in your own time. So it's not going to be a 1 day thing. It's going to be a 1 to 2 month course where you can replay the videos over and over, take your notes, keep practicing for a couple of months until you're ready to take your final exam. And when you're ready, you take your final exam, you pass it with flying colors, and you get your certificate for literally $300. So we're going from $1,500, which is my normal certificate rate for one-on-one training, to $300, and you get about 2 months of practice time with that, plus a final examination. So if you don't pass your final exam, you will have a chance to retake your final exam as well, to pass it and earn your certificate that way too. So don't worry, we are going to take care of you guys. I really want to make sure that you guys learn what you want to learn and truly, truly retain that knowledge. So I want to make this to become a very strict class, and it's going to have to be strict, but you are going to learn it very well because the videos are going to be very informative. So I'm super excited for that. And now